Leandre Gotte Gius.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the
Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hopefully, I look good on the camera because we struggling this morning, man. Internet connection was kind of messing up and stuff, but nah, we good now. We should be good now, right? Everybody, we good? Hold on. I gotta give y'all the juice. Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure. All right, we should be straight. Hold on. Let me give y'all the juice. Let me do something real quick. Hold on. I'm feeling good this morning, chat. How y'all feeling this morning? I seen everybody jumping in the chat. Thank y'all for jumping in on the YouTube side, Twitter. I see y'all blowing up on that side. We're also live on my personal Facebook page. So if you follow me or if you're my friend on Facebook, I'm live on my personal page. Not on accident today. I did this on purpose because I have a lot of my family members that want to support my content, but they have no inclination of the usage and terminology of today's technology age, if I could say it correctly. But y'all, I'm blessed today. The devil is busy. Let's say that. He's busy, but when you know that you're on assignment and you're really destined to do what you are doing and you have a passion for what you're doing, God will continue. If you keep focused, He'll continue to put you in positions to take advantage of opportunities and things just to respond to Him and show Him that you're focused on Him. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, that we're focused on God. Ain't that right? Amen. Ain't that right? Amen. Y'all better say something. Y'all better start preaching in this chat this morning. So this morning though, I want to get into the conversation, man. We got a few topics of conversation, some basic stuff to kind of press on today. Alabama being in the in a lot of talks about just the future of the program, right? Just the whole future of Alabama, the program in itself. Kalen DeBoer and the staff. It's going to be interesting to see how this season unfolds from a standpoint as a fan, but also just from for the people that cover college football. The game of college football has changed so much over the past, let's say, 5 years. We've seen so many different dynamics of the game change that that is becoming one of those things where we kind of want to sit back and enjoy this season with things as Bama fans. Things seem to be settling. So we're going to get into the conversation today, and we're going to tackle Alabama's path to the playoffs, but we're also going to talk about how it's being kickstarted by the recruiting season. And my board keeps coming off the wall over here. I got my hit list board, y'all. We're going to start filling up the hit list. Y'all know how we do. Ain't no shame in our game. And we got the belt over here behind us too. So we're going to get into that conversation. And y'all can see y'all chats right here on the screen, man. Hopefully y'all can see them and continue to interact. If I look sleepy, y'all, I didn't get in until about 2 o'clock this morning. And it wasn't my fault. I was definitely being a helping friend. And I'm grateful for, the conversations last night. It was very inspirational. A lot of clarity waking up this morning. I did wake up late this morning, y'all. I'm so sorry that I woke up late. But let's get into the show. Let's see what we can get into with these conversations. Like I said, Alabama's path to the college football playoffs. We're going to dive into that. And then, but first we're going to start off talking about how we're kicking off the recruiting this weekend. We have a big recruiting weekend. We talked about this yesterday, a whole segment. If you want to know about that, get the insight on the visitors, who's showing up, some of the big names that we're hype about over here on the Coach Smook Network, following the Alabama Crimson Tide recruiting very closely. Go check that out, the live from yesterday morning. Go check that out. Now, into the show, man. Let's do it. Somebody get in the chat and say, put me in the game, coach. Let's go.
You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips? The perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
It's not going to take us a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
Sir, yes, sir. Let's get into it, chat. I'm ready to get into it. I know y'all ready to get into it. Hey, so here is the question. Who sets the tone here? Who sets the tone? I think this summer there is going to be a crazy reckoning of names that pop up on Bama's radar. Leaning towards Bama, you're going to get a lot of Whit Fong bombs or whatever they want to call them, Whit Fong bombs. and predictions, crystal balls of 4 stars and 5 stars, really giving Alabama a serious look. And when I say a serious look, I'm talking about we've already seen it with Xavier Griffin. We've already seen it with Sincere Johnson giving Alabama a serious look. And those are linebackers. We've seen Alabama over the years start to pull a lot of the top linebacker talent in the country. Even in state, we were able to kind of secure some guys. So I think going into this recruiting weekend, I think we get to see Alabama's best asset. And if you all have not been on my TikTok page, I made a graphic yesterday, and I call myself trying to be a graphic guy, right? And I made a graphic yesterday, and it had some of the key personnel that I have personally had interaction with, right, on Alabama's recruiting staff, on their administration, right? And these people, they are literally the front lines when it comes to recruiting. When these guys come to Alabama, they're not necessarily meeting a coach first all the time. Most of the time, it's your recruiting coordinators, it's your director of player personnel is going to be there. So Ellis Ponder, Jatavis Sanders, Aaron Hodges, Courtney Morgan, your general manager, Ashley, all of those people that coordinate the recruiting weekend, their visits, how they're communicated. Those are the ones, as we run up the hashtag Summer Rain in the chat. Yeah, I hope y'all saw that graphic. As a matter of fact, I think I can pull it up if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna see if I can get it pulled up here. But yeah, it's crazy to see how effective that team is in this recruiting process. Now, they won't get a lot of the hype and everything, right? They won't get a lot of the hype, but they are a major part of the reason why this recruiting process has the type of success it does. All right. And a lot of people, they try to throw money at recruits, right? They try to, a lot of programs, we know that's what's happening. They get the players there. I've spoken with players and that committed to Alabama, right? And on these visits, some of these visits, these players, they had a good time, and it wasn't at the cost of their dime. And it was made public that it wasn't at the cost of their dime. That's how their projection or their career, their lifestyle would be if they were to commit to Texas. And that's the point of having these visits. So Alabama does a good job, especially with this staff with Kalen DeBoer. They kind of carried over that tradition of preaching the program and the value of what it can create for you in your future. Not necessarily just on the football field, but the university as a whole, the community, the type of support that the University of Alabama, you guys got to remember, Tuscaloosa is the University of Alabama. That campus is Tuscaloosa, right? Outside of that, there is nothing. Somebody I guess they tried to make a slight, saying that about the University of Alabama and Tuscaloosa, but I mean, that's most college towns. That's where most universities, right? That's where they started, out in open fields, in open areas where people could come to a centered place and get their studies, gather studies. So for that to be like a joke, that's kind of weird, right? Right. I mean, what town, what college, what big college is not in a college town? I mean, what big college town is not just because of the college? You get what I'm saying? Like Auburn, Clemson. Nobody goes to Clemson for the scenery, right? Nobody goes to Athens for the scenery, right? Gainesville, who goes to Gainesville, right? Come on, man. You got so many other places in Florida you can go to, right? And in Alabama, we're very limited, as far as national attractions. So that's kind of off topic. But this staff, this part of the staff, they set the tone. And that's who I want to give credit to start the show off with. Recruiting is huge. We always talk about the recruits that's going to commit. This staff, they play a huge part in this. As a matter of fact, let me go pull it up. I'm going to show you the personnel that I'm talking about. Talking about Courtney Morgan, of course. You all are very familiar with him. Jatavis Sanders, Director of Player Personnel on that staff. And and if y'all ever want to know what these people do, man, all you have to do is go to the staff directory on rolltide.com, the Alabama Athletics staff, the Alabama Athletics website, and you can see all the positions let's get down to the football. Look at old Mr. Hardy. It's pretty cool. Sitting in some of these media meetings when I was doing the team reporting and seeing their faces and their names on these graphics and then knowing their personalities is pretty cool. Building that type of relationship, networking relationship with the university. Especially like somebody like me, man. Most of the time, a lot of these guys, they've grown up as a fan, but they're not diehard fans. So my transition into this industry was different. You know, I had to start separating fandom and, you know, make it more about the actual story, the actual narratives that we're trying to get out there. So I'm trying to get down, but y'all know it does that. But they're the ones setting the tone. And then, of course, on the recruiting end, you got your position coaches, you got your graduate assistants that are around there walking these guys around campus. You got the freshmen that are early enrollees or on campus early, talking to these guys. You got guys that are already committed, verbally committed, that aren't taking official visits elsewhere. They're on campus, right, unofficially, to encourage other recruits. So that's what sets the tone. And when you have a culture that invites that, and you have guys that aren't being tasked to do this is voluntary. This is stuff that, you know, Duke Johnson, Luke Metz, Abdul Sanders Jr., Dijon Lee, Ike Taylor, AK Deer, guys that are like that were vocal or kind of just solid throughout their commitment to Alabama throughout the 25 cycle. These guys are spearheading, hey, we got recruiting weekend, let's be here, this, that, and third. So you're going to see a lot of that. Even the guys that's training, that's off in Vegas training, the offensive guys that's over in Vegas training right now, having that reporter be on FaceTime, hey, bro, you there this weekend, enjoy it, bro. We out here getting it in, working for another national championship. We trying to get back to greatness. You want to be a part of this? Hey, go ahead and commit, man. You see where we at. You see what we doing. You get what I'm saying? And a conservative effort, an aggressive but yet conservative effort to be authentic is what I'm seeing from this staff, from this team, from the program, and that's what I'm excited about when it comes to this season. Setting the tone here early in recruiting season, and it's, as you all know, today kicks off the official recruiting visit. Well, last week did, but today is the big weekend where we have a lot of big names on campus. Jet Washington spearheading for me, being a big name. A lot of people, like I said, I continue to say this because I just find it funny that people continue to do this as we continue to grow. When I said that Alabama, he would be a great fit for K. Womack's scheme, the way that this defense is designed, he is the perfect guy. Like you got to think, man, the 6'5" young man that's probably going to grow another inch while he's in college. This young man could be a 6'6" safety, right? And you all reminded me of James Williams from Miami. I was reminded of the story when I was in that sports talk group, and I said, this dude gonna be a solid safety. Watching his highlights from high school, I got the same feels with Jet Washington. And Jet Washington, this weekend, my pitch to him, if he was chatting with Coach Smoot, and Coach Smoot was trying to be the recruiting coordinator or the recruiting pitch guy for Alabama. Let me zip it up real quick, get a little professional. Courtney, I need one of them GLD Alabama chains. You know what I'm saying? Hook a brother up. My pitch to Jet Washington this weekend would be a simple but yet, direct approach. Kind of like what the staff does. I've been around. I remember being on campus last year during spring when they were having unofficial visits, open visits. People were coming during spring practice, and they had like 7-on-7 teams. California Power was out there, and I was on the sideline. I was watching the practice. Courtney Morgan, Coach Rob, Coach Jones was on the sideline, and Coach Porter for California Power. And the quarterback, he used to play for Boise State. He's one of the guys that's on that California Power staff. But they were all over there, right? And Hilson, the young man that was committed to Alabama, decommitted after Saban. After Saban retired, decommitted, and I think he ended up committing to Florida State. He's at Florida State now, I believe. But Hilson was on that team, on that 7-on-7 team, and they were there doing their unofficial. And Courtney Morgan was asking about players and recruits, and I'm just standing off to the side after, getting to meet them and everything. I'm standing off to the side, kind of, just listening. I'm learning the industry at this point. I'm listening to the mode of the conversation. And the way that he was speaking about these players and their evaluation, it was a lot of things that I would say about this player as I watched this highlight film, and we did the coverage on him, that week at Bama Football on YouTube. So we were talking about a lot of targets that were on campus. Same type of deal this year. Jet Washington is a guy that I've heard and I've seen Courtney Morgan speak on multiple times. And when you have a guy, when he has your attention, there's a direct a line of contact there. You're a valued target. So Jet Washington is one of those guys I think this weekend is going to be in high regards. And let me go get the rest of these guys right here. I told y'all about Jet Washington. Titan Davis is another name, the defensive lineman, 4-star defensive lineman. I think he's a big target. Braden Rouse out of Marietta, Georgia. I think he's a huge target. Like, I feel like these three guys are really going to set the tone. Now, Sincere Johnson, big name, huge target, but he's one of those guys. If we don't snag him this class, then it's not a miss. You look at the linebacker room, it's stacked for at least another year. We're not worried about depth for at least another year. We're going to lose some veteran guys this year after this season, but we're not worried about so much depth. Especially with the commits we already have in this class, in the 26 class, we keep these guys committed. You know this staff is going to stack some depth in this class, but Sincere Johnson is going to be a very hard target to pass on, right, or to not make a priority. When you look at a skill set, when you turn on the film, and you say, hey, can I put this guy on the field as a true freshman? Can I put this guy on the field as a true freshman and get quality production out of him? Sincere Johnson is one of those guys I believe in this 26 class. And I think he will be a target. He's going to be a guy that his energy is kind of going to help set the tone for what Alabama's recruiting season looks like. I'm going to share this graphic again for y'all because I think y'all liked the graphic yesterday. Our high value targets, Coach Smook's high value targets for this weekend. And this is targets that have a lot of noise behind their name, right? A lot of noise behind their name, a lot of hype, and rightfully so, right? We're talking about, and I'm going to full screen this graphic real quick for y'all. Let's full screen it. Get this off for y'all. So right here we got Jet Washington from Bishop Gorman, Sincere Johnson out of Greenville, Ohio. And I spelled that wrong. I didn't go fix my graphic, y'all. I'm lazy. Titan Davis out of Des Moines, Missouri. And Braden Rouse from Marietta, Georgia. And Jet Washington's a free safety, chat. I don't want y'all to get that confused. If you go look at his highlight film, he does have some wide receiver highlights, as you would expect a 6'5", 210-pound athlete to have, right? So don't be startled by that. We will be recruiting him to play safety. I guarantee you, he's not, and he won't be opposed to playing both sides. This is a new age of college football, chat. Jet Washington could be a guy like Cam Latu was. Cam Latu got recruited in college, and we've seen the transition with multiple positions, but just because of scheme and skill sets, right? Not because of want to. Like Mbakwe, he wanted to play offense. He wanted to get on the offensive side, still making himself available for the defense, but he wants to be an offensive asset. Cam Latu came to Alabama as a linebacker, defensive end, if I'm not mistaken. Switched to tight end, gets drafted as a tight end, is in the NFL as a tight end, right? Guy like Jet Washington, Jalen Mbakwe, you mess around and run into some depth issues on either side of the ball at those positions. You got two athletes, natural athletes that have extensive experience at the positions that you're asking them to go out there and play in, and that's when you can kind of trust them to roll them out there and to roll with the punches. And you know what, Smooth? You know that's the real reason why Smoot is really high on this young man. He got that Mamba mentality, that Mamba blood in him. Everybody know he's Kobe's nephew. He don't like people to hearken on that though. You know what I'm saying? He really don't like people to hearken on that. If you talk to him, he wants to really set a tone for his own self, and he doesn't want any of that to get mixed up in what he's earned. And I don't think he has to worry about that. You got media that's going to be media, but I don't think he has to worry about that. And then some undervalued targets this weekend that's setting the tone. Who's setting the tone? We're talking about who's setting the tone, chat. I talk about this guy, Malachi Lee, man. Excited about him. One, because he's not only just a big body, he's a big athlete that really on both sides of the ball. You don't know where Alabama wants. I think we want him for the tackle position. You all know we have Wilkin for him for maybe this season and one more year, right? So a guy like this, to be able to get him on campus and develop behind that huge talented group of offensive linemen that we got in the 25 class with Michael Carroll, Jackson Lloyd, Mal Waldrop, and Michael Dubose, that signing class there. Get a guy like Malachi Lee to come over and develop on that offensive line, be a tackle. You kind of got everybody in their natural positions now. Jackson Lloyd and Malachi Lee at tackle, Carroll and Dubose at guard, Waldrop at center. That'll be a crazy, nasty future lineup for the Alabama offensive line. So very undervalued, coming in as a 4-star. I think he's a 5-star, like somebody said yesterday. If he's playing in Florida, Texas, Georgia, somewhere like that, he's a 5-star. Undervalued. Ryan Mosley, another guy, 3-star, committed to Georgia right now. Hard commit to Georgia. I think Georgia was his dream offer, but a dream offer goes out the window when you talk to Jamarcus Shepard. So Georgia fans, I'm putting y'all on notice. I'm pulling y'all on notice, man. Don't be scared. Deron Jones, appreciate the heart reaction over there on Facebook. Shout out to the 17 in the chat on YouTube and the 34 in the chat on Twitter and the 3 in the chat on Facebook. Thank y'all for tapping in today, man. Thank y'all for tapping in and showing some love to the Coach Smoot Network. Now, closing this little segment out here, closing this little part of the segment out. Undervalued targets. This is one that I'm telling y'all. We talked about Malachi Lee's undervalued, but this young man being a 3-star, Deacon Schmidt, if we can swing his skill set and his interest over this way, right? Strong interest, because right now, the conversations around him, and I don't have any direct connections to his camp or people that are close to him. We're still working on it. But the conversations around his camp is that he's really open in his recruiting process. And I'm just curious to see what type of personality characteristics develop with him and some of the coaching staff personalities that he's going to have direct contact with. You know, I'm pretty sure he's going to have some type of conversations with Coach Cap, Ryan Grubb, Nick Sheridan, right? Coach Ellis, I'm pretty sure. Possibly even Coach Roach. So those 5 personalities, I want to see how because this could be a huge add to the class. I think he's probably going to end up being a 4-star. He's picking up a lot of offers from Power 5 schools, and that usually helps boost your ratings, right? Your rankings. So I think Deacon Schmidt is a guy that under the radar is a priority. Very undervalued target from the public sense, but is a very valued target for Alabama, high on their list. And then, of course, J.J. Finch, the defensive lineman, I think he's just a conversation away from being a Bama commit. He fits the mold personality-wise, skill set-wise. You see him at that 6'3", 260. I think that's easily a 275, 280 frame for the bandit position or defensive tackle, like your Jeremiah Beeman, Edric Hill, Jordan Renard type bodies. This is what you're getting in that. And I think he's just waiting for a one-on-one, face-to-face conversation from the likes of an Alabama scheme that he can fit. You know, a defensive lineman we're shooting gaps, we're getting after quarterback, we're attacking run gaps instead of trying to hold up and contain run gaps on majority of our play calls. That's an attractive scheme to defensive linemen who are athletic, and J.J. Finch is one of the more undervalued, more athletic guys in this class. So having them, this is what sets the tone. This is what I believe starts the road to Alabama's playoff appearance, national championship appearance. Yes, you heard it here at the Coach Smoot Network. The playoffs, yes, and the national championship appearance. Yes, SEC championship on the way. Yeah, we pulling the guns out. Hey, yeah, we letting them out today because I have had time to kind of evaluate up until this point, right? We've had time to, not just me, but you all have sat here and we've talked about this and we've had these conversations. We got a good scope of what other teams are bringing back, right? And now we can start making more realistic projections. A lot of this blind stuff, a lot of these things we're going to say with Alabama's path to the playoffs today. We're going to make realistic projections based off of what we've been forced to learn in our discussions up until this point. So as we get into the show, man, hopefully y'all are ready to get into it. Once again, man, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all go ahead and get subscribed to the channel. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you share it. And then also, if you're not a member, we want to get our memberships back up. We just, for the first time in 7 months, we just dipped under 100 members on the Coach Smoot Network. Yeah, for the first time in over 7 months, y'all. So if you all have it in you to continue to support, think about becoming a member of the Coach Smoot Network, becoming a member of the channel, and supporting us. $2.99 to get you in the door and get you as a member of the AAA family. Want to know how to do it? This is how you do it. Check it out. Thank y'all for being here again. Think about becoming a member of the AAA family.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smoot Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smoot Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmootnetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smoot of the Coach Smoot Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Let's go, man. Come on, man. Y'all can't tell me that beat don't get y'all hype coming back into the show, man. Y'all can't tell me it don't. Like, it's Dooley Gang in the found, man. Coach Smoot and Dooley Gang, man. Just acting up, putting out this fire. Got folks shaking on their shows. SOS. Shaking on the shows. Lord Jesus. That boy said, got him shaking on they. Let me stop. Let's keep on the conversation, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Hey, before we continue, man, I seen some comments, man. Let me acknowledge some comments. We got King Family Reacts. My brother Jay, not Jay, Dennis is in the chat, man. I was gonna say Jason. Jordan is in the chat, man. What's good, Jordan? Smooth, what's good, my brother? Jason, I see. That go to my brother Jason. Good to see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Shout out to the 11 in the chat. I know y'all not used to having the Friday morning lives on this late, but we got a lot of content to put out today, man. We got a lot of content to put out. I have an opportunity. I got a few announcements to make while we're here. Before we jump into the last part of this show, the path to the college football playoff, and one quick announcement, man. Hold on, let me see. Y'all remember this beat? Hold on, let me. Y'all remember that beat? Yeah, Smooth. He's committed to UGA. I know. I said he's a hard commit to UGA. See, Bama, what's going on, man? Roll Tide, my guy. Y'all remember that Fairweather fan beat? That tell me. Man, that junk used to have folks mad, boy. Hey, y'all know what that means when that Fairweather fan beat come on. But we got some huge announcements, big announcements. Let me get this banner off the screen real quick. So we got some huge announcements today, and I kind of wanted to wait until we had a majority of our people tapped in, man. We got enough people tapped in, so I wanted to make sure. And don't forget to drop the likes on the stream, y'all. Don't forget to drop the likes. Today's goal is 25 likes on this live. We want to be live for another hour. You know, an hour. We're going to take this to the hour and a half, hour 45-minute mark. But let's hit that like goal. A huge announcement. First of all, I have been invited to the TikTok Gaming Creators Program through TikTok. Shout out to TikTok, man. Like officially with a talent agency, representation for my gaming content. Going to help with my branding and everything. So to God be the glory, celebrating that. It's not like they're paying me right now, but they're providing opportunities to create some revenue and growth opportunities for the brand, right? Let me put my Roku remote down. And then that's not the big announcement though. That was already in the works. That's been like a thing. This isn't the first time I've heard my name being thrown into that list of creators being invited. So we have the best wide receiver group. Can't wait to see this offense. Facts, Nick. Hey, wait, what? Welcome in, Nick. Good to see you, man. I like to see some of these what they call them, avatars on you guys' profiles. I like to see them pop up when y'all haven't been around in a while. And a lot of people said they've been missing my lives. It's the end of the school year. They were working different hours and stuff. So we're gonna have enough content, especially with this new announcement. Y'all gonna be able to. The face is gonna be at a lot of more places. Let's say that. And it's not about my face being in a lot more places. It's just an opportunity to continue to spread what we bring to this industry on another platform. And with that being said, y'all, no, we're not shutting down the Coach Smoot Network, right? We ain't doing that again. We're not ever doing that again. We're not stopping what God has given us. We're not shutting down the vision ever again. All right, y'all can stop laughing now. It ain't that funny. All right, but myself, as a matter of fact, let me type it. All right, so I've been offered an opportunity to partner and collab with a very well respected publication organization. They're growing. It's a national organization, and the content that they're putting out for some of the other fan bases that they're representing, right? And we're talking a big name that's a part of this network. Michigan, their fan base is thriving right now. They're I want to say they're Florida, team is there. Their Auburn is growing. A lot of they're getting a lot of reach with their content right now. And hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find the actual YouTube page so I could take y'all to it. I thought I had it bookmarked. Oh, I'm under the wrong profile. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna get y'all. So here we go. If you all have not followed this page, this is the team I will be joining. The Voice of College Football Network. And I'm going to, if I can find it. I got their Twitter page up. Y'all clap it up. Y'all can clap it up. Ain't no big deal. It is a big deal. Y'all can clap it up. So, and I'm gonna share this page so y'all can see kind of how it's laid out, and how, like why I'm excited to be a part of this. Okay, so if you all don't know who Mark Rogers is, he's a very well-known name, analyst, creates discussions. Same thing I do. He's been doing it on social media for a while now. He's done it on the professional scene, but I'm gonna pull this up and share it with y'all real quick. So this is my guy. I haven't met him personally, but we've had the conversation. And as you can see, they have a lot of different personalities that's a part of this team. You see Michigan represented. They have, who else was the other team? Of course, Alabama. I'll be representing Alabama, joining the Alabama team. Tennessee. That fan base is going to be fun to be interacting with them. They actually have a gaming content creator that they have over there. So y'all know the live game sim that we do. That is something that we'll be giving them, not giving them, but giving to them as far as a production, something that we'll be premiering on their page so that we don't do it on the Coach Smoot channel anymore. So, and I don't care to do it on my gaming channel. I'd rather do the live simulations with other personalities, other personnel, other Alabama content creators that want to support that part of creating content for Alabama football. As you all can see, Miami's in there, Oklahoma, West Virginia. So you got a lot of representation. Nebraska, the Voice of College Football is not just a Bama page. And this is a squad. Wow, that's cool. I just popped up on there. But this is a page that is trying to expand. And the fact that they saw fit that someone who was labeled as not good for a image, right? Y'all remember the what was said. They said that Coach Smoot wasn't good for an image, and these people are very much aware of the journey that we've come through, and they're excited to add me to the team. And I'm excited to be a part of the team, man. I'm more than grateful, more than humbled. And this is a publication. We're going to where we were in 2024 and what we were doing. Be ready for that this fall. Be ready for that spring on a whole new level. And guess what? We don't have to just keep it over there. They want to help Coach Smoot Network grow. So our community, I'm telling you right now, if you haven't already, and I'm gonna pull it up right now, if you haven't already, for all my Bama fans, and if you're not a Bama fan, if you're in here and you're watching this post stream, this live post stream, I want you to go and follow the Voice of College Football, and your team might be there. I know we have Kenny. He comes in here. He's a Miami guy. You can start going and watching Miami content on the Voice of College Football, the Voice of Miami College Football, right? Instead of coming here trolling us, so you can actually learn something from those guys, right? You can go to, if you got Michigan fans, we got Fort and what's our other guy that used to be in here? Y'all remember our guys used to be in here, our Michigan guys? They kind of disappeared. It's off season. Nobody bothering us right now. We got Tennessee fans pop in. We got Texas fans. Of course, Jason and the Oklahoma family. So they have a lot of that. So if you're watching this post live, go find them. Voice of College Football, find them. But all my Bama family, even if you're not Bama family, if you support here, if you subscribe to the Coach Smoot Network, make sure you go to the Alabama at the Voice of College Football, right? You can find them at Alabama Voice of College Football at Alabama VOCFB, right? Go over there, subscribe to him, turn on all notifications, because we have just officially agreed to an official partnership. We got clearance to announce it this morning. We had the conversation last night. It wasn't a long, drawn-out process either, guys. It was one of those things where a connection, a mutual connection was there, and suggested that I could be a prospect. And I'm not going to lie, as we take the next 2 minutes to kind of allow everybody to come back in and get settled. And thank you all for all the congrats in the chat. I see them, man. I appreciate you, Jordan. Appreciate you, Nick. Appreciate everybody. I'm not going to lie. My first instinct was to go into protective mode. You all know what we deal with in this industry, what we've dealt with since coming into this industry. And one thing I've hearkened and built my brand and my name off of is being authentic, right? And I could care less about, somebody's feelings, right, towards me, especially when they're speaking on my name with malicious intent. But I don't think they understand that's just fuel to the fire. Like, that's just fuel to the fire. And talking with this staff, talking with this team, man, not necessarily from a drama standpoint, they have that same fuel and fire because they're being counted out. That Alabama channel is being counted out. They're not expected to grow because of some of the heavy hitters that's already out there. And I look at the model and the presentation of this channel. I'm glad to be a part of this team. They're doing me a favor. I'm gonna say that they're doing me a favor with allowing me to be a part of this team. Because a lot of my vision and what I wanted to do as far as being able to cover Bama sports, they love what we're bringing to the table with our community. They love our interaction. So let's continue to pop out AAA family. We're not shutting it down over here. We're going to continue to rep that AAA family. But all my Bama family, all my AAA family, go to the Voice of College Football, that network, all of their channels. Find your team. If you're not a Bama fan, find your team. Subscribe over there. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. And shout out to Chris and TJ and Jackson, man, those guys for getting me in the loop. And shout out to Mark Rogers, man, for doing something like I'm doing. He did it a long time ago, and you see what it's bringing him. So shout out to him, man. I appreciate him for the opportunity to join this team. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. I appreciate everybody in chat. Dylan, thank you for the congrats, man. Glad to see you in the chat, man. If y'all don't remember, Dylan was away for a little bit, man. My guy's back, though. Welcome back, Dylan. Good to see you, man. And I don't know if we're getting comments on Twitter or not, but if you're commenting on Twitter, can't currently see it, but thank you all. Congratulations. Mary J is in the chat. Hey, Mary J. Hope you feeling better, Mary J. Yeah, y'all. So let me get a sip of water, and then we're going to get back into the conversation here on the Coach Smoot Network. Once again, I thank you all for supporting. Y'all know what to do, man. Y'all know what to do.
Female voice.
When it's time to get back into it, what we say? Somebody say, put me in the game, Coach Smoot. Let's get into this next segment.
You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips, the perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
All right, y'all, listen. That was funny. I listen. Do y'all ever really hear what my guy name is, man? He used to call in all the time. He hasn't been around. He been working like crazy. He checks in after the streams. What was our favorite caller's name, man? He used to get on there and, man, Coffee, Greg. Y'all remember Greg? I had to get that voice clip. Nothing much, man. Just scared for these other content creators now that we have this mega. That was such an encouraging day, man, to have him on that phone. But calling segment. Oh, y'all, announcement. Calling segment starts back up Monday morning. Monday morning calling segment. And then we will be stretching our calling segments to Friday nights also. Over on the Voice of College Football. We'll be doing our college segments over there. I think Thursday or Friday nights. Don't get me quoted on that. I ain't running nothing, y'all. Just know we'll be doing a college segment over there on the Voice of College Football too. Why y'all ain't telling me I had a piece of hair in my camera? Y'all didn't see that piece of hair? I thought y'all loved me. What's up, Travelpreneur? Good to see you, man. And so, get back into the conversation now. We talked about what sets the tone, or who sets the tone for Alabama's path to the college football playoff, right? I want to dive into that path. What does that path look like? What is that path? Who's in that path? We know our schedule. We know who's on that path. So let's jump into it. And is that big homie tapping in? What's up, big homie? What's up, big homie? Tapping in. Jordy, you gonna be in the game on Monday? You better turn up, man. Come on in. Call that phone line when y'all get in here, man. Hey, listen, and also y'all, super chats. Let's run them up, man. We trying to hit our like goal of 25, but don't forget there's opportunities to donate, man. We gotta hit a goal. We got one more day to hit our monthly super chat goals. I think we only need 3. So if y'all have it in y'all before the end of the 31st, super chat your boy 3 super chats. They could be 3 $1.99s. Get your boy them super chats, but definitely run them likes up. That's what we're really here for. And if you want to be a co-sponsor on today's stream, that's how you can donate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, 5 gifted memberships, or any super chat will get you put on the donation banner. Our donation banner is going to start consisting of a weekly donation, right? A weekly donation. And we're going to continue to run it. I think we could put up to 5,000 characters on the banner. So that's at least 15, 20 names. So until we start filling it up, we'll just keep on running it like that. I thank y'all for supporting again. So into the conversation here on the Coach Smoot Network, Alabama's path to the college football playoff, to the Natty, to the SEC championship, all that stuff, right? I said that all out of order, but y'all know what I'm getting at. All right, let's pull the schedule up, get into the conversation. Once again, y'all, these are not those fan projections that we're talking today, right? We're talking realistic projections based off of reports from camp, evaluations from spring camp videos. 3 weeks. It's already been more than 3 weeks. It's been over a month since everybody's spring game, officially, right? Today, since everybody's spring game. Now we can make some realistic projections. I've got to see a lot of reliable analysts or beat writers and team reporters and coverage networks and stuff speak on their teams. I've watched them. Some things I agree with, some things I don't, and most of them I could say I've went all the way through. And you all know we interact with Oklahoma a lot, so I'm very hip to what is happening everywhere, but possibly not as much as Vanderbilt, right? Not as much as UL Monroe, not as much as Eastern Illinois, right? But everywhere else, we kind of got a good idea of what's happening. Florida State, I'm very close to multiple people that are Florida State personalities, right? So we're gonna speak on this today. Let me get the right lighting over here. That might look kind of juiced up right there for a second. We're gonna get into it. So let's go into it. Let's get the schedule open up. Let me change this beat up. Get vibey up in this thing. Let's go party. Let's get partying, baby. All right. So to start the season off, man, y'all know we got Florida State August 30th. Now Florida State, they got to figure out a quarterback situation, right? They got a portal guy. You see how that worked out for them last year with DJU, but this year they have Gus Malzahn. They're bringing in something that they needed heavily. Offensive coordinator, a scheme, somebody that can scheme up something that fits personnel. Gus Malzahn is notorious for that. He's had success everywhere, offensively, everywhere, every stop he's been at. So we definitely got to be awake for that game. Now, my counter to that, with them having Gus Malzahn, that being kind of like their key to them having a chance in this game, in my opinion. My counter to that is that not only do we have a Kane Womack and one of the most efficient defenses in the last, a top 10 efficiency defense in the last 6 weeks of the season last year, and I want to say 70 to 75% of that production returning, right? And then you're getting quality production added to the roster. You got a leading tackler in Nakai Hillis-Green from Colorado. You have Cam Calhoun, a redshirt freshman from last year, who's a redshirt sophomore this year. He's got 2 years of experience under his belt, played a very intricate role as a nickel corner last year at Utah. Played some boundary too, where we expect him to play this year for Bama. Redshirt sophomore. Then you have who else we went and got a part? You go in and got Nakai Hillis-Green on the defense. You went and got for Tua Henry, the other linebacker that I think is going to be a quality depth piece. Who else did we go get out the portal, guys? Those are the major names. You returned to Monty Jackson. You got Keon Sabat. You got Bray Hubbard. You got Xavier Brown. You add Cam Calhoun. Like, the defense is stacked with the front, like the starters. And then you have quality depth behind that was forced into playing last year. Got a lot of young talent that the staff is confident in. It doesn't limit your play calling style. And Kane Womack, now that you have a team that's there, they have a sense of familiarity with the defensive play calls and the language and what's being asked of them. So they're flying around a lot more, and that intensifies your play calling style. So against a team like Florida State, who's going to be trying to get some continuity under Gus Malzahn, play calling is going to be based off of what Billy Napier is wanting at that time. He's going to let him have the play calling, what you're going to call, but what style of play we need right now, run, pass, whatever. I'm still going to have my say-so on that. I guarantee you it has to be that way, right? And that's why I don't think Gus Malzahn is there for a long time. 2 years max. This is stopped until his next head coaching job at the Power 5 level. What's up, Bishop Frank? Good to see you, man. Bishop Frank in the chat, man. Give it up for Bishop Frank. Good to see you, brother. Always showing mad love. So, Florida State, I got that as a W for Alabama. I think we can really come in that game 41-10, 38-10 type game. And the defense is going to have a lovely showing. And I think that this game is not necessarily an explosive scoring game for the offense, but it's an efficient game to where we see it coming together. Now, UL Monroe, I think this is the first 60 piece of the season. And the fact that it's at home, that's even more reason to feel like that. I know for a fact this is going to be the game where we're hoping that first string, if it's not Keelan Russell's not the starter of this game, we're hoping that by the end of by the start of third quarter, we see the second string quarterback in, QB2 in, and then fourth quarter we see third string and fourth string, quarterbacks in. This should be that type of game at home with this team. The amount of talent we have, it should be that type of game. Now, don't overlook it, because UL Monroe is one of those teams that's been benefited from the portal too. You got a team like UL Monroe that'll go get a second string guy from Florida or a second team guy from LSU that's kind of transitioning, just looking for a guaranteed starting spot. UL Monroe will bring in like 5 or 6 of those guys on each side of the ball, and you'll see them show up kind of like USF did against us 2 years ago when we went down to them. So don't get it mistaken. I'm not throwing no slight. I just think with this team this year, the level of focus, the type of coach that Kalen DeBoer is, we won't see drop-off games like Oklahoma and Saban era type games. Charleston Southern. You get what I'm saying? So UL Monroe, I look for that to be one of them 60-plus games and defensive shutout. I don't think that game, we'll see how good the young talent is for Alabama, and that will be a huge game because the next week we're bringing in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's coming in. We know Wisconsin's going to be physical in the trenches. They're going to have solid linebacker play, and their secondary is going to be disciplined. So, in my opinion, based off of last year, same way we had to do it kind of last year, we used the Wisconsin game to really get the run game established. Albeit, though, it was used to kind of expose that we were really going to utilize Jalen Miller in the run game in that Wisconsin game last year. But we also saw the vertical pass game really get implemented, right? Most of those passes, and they talked about it during that game, how most of the passes were, 12 yards or more, average. No quick checkdowns, no quick screens in that game, no jet sweeps, none of that. We saw a lot of deep balls. So I don't think we bring that approach this year. Ryan Grubb has a lot more experience, and we'll have a great sense of what's happening. Then the following week, we have a bye week, and I think that's going to be important because we're going to Athens the following week. Whoever schedules our schedule, they're smart to kick the gauntlet, the mid-season gauntlet off. You get a bye week, you prep for it. And I know Kalen DeBoer is a very smart coach, but one thing I used to love about Nick Saban is you were already preparing for the gauntlet in weeks 1, 2, and 3. On Coach Saban's, like the scheme and things that he would have the defense looking for or practicing at certain points and periods in practice were things that he was expecting to see against a possible big matchup or a big game where he knew that a lot of eyes would be on Bama. And Kalen DeBoer has a good sense of that too. He did that last year against Oregon. 2 years ago against Oregon and Texas. where he kind of used schemes in certain games to prepare. And he didn't necessarily run it every game, but I think the game before the Wisconsin game, we'll see 1 or 2 plays that will be needed against Georgia at Georgia, because that's going to be a hostile environment. I think the Georgia game, though, this year, and I'm not disrespecting Georgia by any means. I just think the dynamic of having that continuity and the team, a lot of production returning from last year for Alabama. I know we got to find a quarterback. That's going to be everybody's argument. You got to find a quarterback. Well, I remember a certain team having to find a quarterback, and it ended up being a walk-on that led them to a national championship. So, Georgia, don't act like you're too foreign. Don't act like you got a 10-year-old national championship trophy sitting in the, you know what I'm saying, in the trophy case. Don't act like that. Like you haven't had to replace a quarterback and watch your defense be the catalyst of your success. That's literally been the blueprint for Kirby Smart. So I'm gonna say this, Georgia, you're experiencing that situation again, but now you're dealing with a situation where your defense was not as dominant last year as it had been in past. We saw your defense uncharacteristically the most rushing yard average per game that they've seen in 5 years under Kirby Smart last year. And you lose a lot of that production from that team last year. Quality guys. And we know you got talent. But I think this year you're not going to be ready for what's coming back on Alabama's offense. And then Alabama's defense returning. We saw this defense give Mike Bobo fits last year. And this was a defense that was still learning. So when Mike Bobo made adjustments, language had to change, certain different schemes and skill sets got mixed up in certain spots. And Carson Beck in that offense made a few big plays. And they turned a 3-possession game until they took the lead, and we had to win by 1 possession. So it's not like Mike Bobo can't dial it up or he didn't have the assets. I just think it was a lot of confusion. If you look at the defense, it was a lot of plays and play calls where Kane Womack was like, why didn't you? What did you? You're supposed to be here. You see a lot of coaching going on at the tail end of that Georgia game. And this year, I don't think that has to happen. I think you're coming back with a more. Georgia had the advantage last year, having the experience, right? And they weren't able to pull it off. I think the tables are really turned for Alabama. And Alabama, Georgia, I'm calling a 35-13 Alabama win. 35-13 Alabama over Georgia. That's what I'm looking at. October 4th, Vanderbilt get back at home. I plan on making a trip that weekend. I want to go see what tailgate at Bama feels like, or the Vanderbilt game we're going to go. Pre-game, y'all know how we do. Outside with Coach Smoot, on campus with Coach Smoot. On campus with Coach Smoot. We plan on being there in October to kick off the October conference gauntlet. And then I think that Vanderbilt game is a different story this year. That defensive scheme, 4-2-5, if they come back with the same offense, you're going to see a more conservative effort to change up the fronts this year. Kane Womack, that was the first thing he said in the post-game interview or the post-practice interview following the Vanderbilt loss. Not recognizing the fronts early enough. He took full blame for that. Because if you all remember, his third and fourth quarter in that Vandy game, it wasn't the front. It wasn't the front. It was the offense not giving us enough opportunities, right? Or not taking advantage of the opportunities that the defense was creating. We know it ended up being a shootout early, but that last 6 or 7 last 6 drives, I believe it was, in the game, because it was a total of it was 9 possessions. I can't remember the score. I don't have it in front of me. I remember the possession. We had the possession lead in the second half and lost by 3 points or whatever the score was. 1 possession. We had 2 extra possessions. We lost by 1. So that wasn't on the defense. They created opportunity. Offense didn't take advantage. I don't think we had that problem at home this year. I think this is a different team. Once again, just the natural evolution of having continuity and chemistry. Jason said at UGA. Yes, at UGA. I really do think that we will have a ball that is going to be. Last year should have been worse last year than what it was. It should have been the way we played Georgia. We should have kept our foot on the gas, right, offensively. We shouldn't have put the ball in Jalen's hands to run it out, like he did in the second half. Should have kept the ball on the ground. We were having success on the ground. That game could have been way worse than what it was. We didn't have to get a ball back to Georgia as many times as we did in the second half. So yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. At Missouri, BTA. Tennessee. This is a game that I'm worried about. I looked at I remember telling y'all, yes, they lost Nico, but they have a asset that if he can execute this offense at a high rate, Josh Heupel's offense is dangerous, no matter who's at the quarterback position. Aguilar is the guy. It's not like he's he's not Nico, but he's not a trash quarterback. He's not somebody that they just went and found. This is a talented guy. You look at the season, we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in. Guys start to kind of find the rhythm or find their identity. I say week 5 through 7 is when you start finding out your identity as a team, right? Who you are on both sides of the ball and how that meshes together and provides your identity as a team. Tennessee could be dangerous coming into T-Town. They have a lot of receiver assets, a lot of young receivers that are going to have to play. They got Brazel over there. Chris Brazel, I think his name is. They got a lot of speed in that wide receiver room. The running back room, maybe not as talented as it was last year, but there's opportunity there, and they have an experienced offensive line. Replacing a few pieces on defense, but we saw their depth last year. So Tennessee could be a dangerous game. I think that's our first nail biter of the season. That's the one where if it's close, it gets dragged out to the fourth quarter type game, and the score doesn't necessarily tell the story. Thinking like a 31-21, 34-21 type game, 31-21, Bama over Tennessee. Now, October 25th, this is the game that I'm worried about. And if I had to give Alabama a loss, unexpected loss, maybe you catch the team slipping off of a hard-fought game at home against Tennessee, South Carolina would beat this game. And it's due to the fact that I have looked at their roster, man, and they have a freaking weapon on the offensive side. And they went in the portal, and they got 2 offensive linemen, right? I don't think anybody's talking about what they did in the portal. I don't think anybody's talking about what they're doing in recruiting, especially locking down the state. I think Shane Beamer is actually, contrary to popular belief or contrary to Hall of Fame Jason's belief, I think Shane Beamer is starting to become a good coach. I really do. I think he's the reason he's becoming a good coach because he's taking his hands off of things that he probably doesn't have as much expertise in. And he's becoming more of a manager in the game play caller setting. You look at what South Carolina has. Let me go pull up their let me go pull this up real quick. Hey, can y'all hear that beat? That motherfucker. What's good, Davin? Corey Glover said, with Aguilar at QB, yes, I think Tennessee is still going to be a dangerous team. Week 7, maybe not week 1 through 3. They'll still be figuring it out. But when it comes to conference play, Tennessee I still think they will be dangerous. I told y'all last year that they were dangerous. I told y'all last year, in order for us to beat them, we would have to get to Nico. We would have to get pressure on Nico. Let me see. Okay, here it is. So I'm looking at I'm looking at the staff, and like I said, you have an offensive guy in that room and on your staff that you trust with play calling, right? And Mike Shula. We know what Mike Shula's pedigree comes from. You trust his play calling. You like where he is, and you have a guy on the defensive side that has not necessarily had the play calling experience you have. So you get to affect that side. You specialize, kind of like what Coach Saban. He kind of took the Coach Saban model. The side of the ball that you don't necessarily have a philosophy of, or that's not your expertise, you go and get a guy that specializes in that. You hand that to him and let him handle that. You give him the directive on the type of guys you want to recruit mentally, whatever, the style of play you want, but play calling is his. He handles that initiative. Shane Beamer goes out and he has Clayton White, his linebacker guy, promotes him as his defensive coordinator, somebody that's not necessarily a yes man, but has experience under him, with him. Had the previous experience with Muschamp, right? A lot of quality experience, and you can rely on him to be your second set of eyes from the booth. This staff, they've done some things, and I think Shane Beamer is becoming a better coach because of that. What's surrounding him, and then you just look at the roster. They have a mismatch problem, just like we have one in Isaiah Horton. They have one too. Damani Jackson is good, but you're not shutting down a 6'7" athlete at wide receiver. I don't care who you are. You're going to have to bracket him. You're going to have to send an asset, and that's what makes South Carolina's offense so dangerous. You have to respect that. Lenore Sellers, a strong quarterback, growing quarterback. The pocket presence, the moment that's there, that's a thing for him. You will see it. He's not going to take as many sacks this year. Their offensive line has to get better in order for them to take off and be as dangerous as I believe they're going to be on the offensive side. Defensively, I think they're going to be sound. I think they're going to be one of the top again. I think South Carolina was number 4 in the SEC as far as total efficiency stats at the end of the season last year, if I'm not mistaken. Oklahoma was number 1. I think Tennessee was number 2. Alabama was number 3. And I want to say South Carolina was number 4. Or it might have been South Carolina number 3 and Alabama number 4. I know they both were top 5 in the SEC. So that's why I say South Carolina's a dangerous game. Now, if and call me fair weather, whatever, right? If I had to project a loss on this schedule, it would be at South Carolina. And it's a game where it's uncharacteristic. I'm talking a 31-17 type fallout. 31-21, 34-21 type fallout because of some things happening. You know, at this point in the season, that could happen. This might be the game where Shane Beamer, if Ty Simpson is in the game and he's flustered with pressure, right? Shane Beamer knows he has to get to Ty Simpson, can't give him time. And let's say we're having a Caden Proctor struggle game or a Wilkin Formby struggle game or a Jaden Roberts struggle game, right, on the line, and Ty Simpson is flustered. 4 interceptions, right? Let's say the staff doesn't make the switch to get Keelan in or Mack in. They let Ty go through his fight his fight. Then you got a bye week, QB competition. That's what I feel like South Carolina could do to our season, right? That's what I feel like this season can be. It's going to be a season of decisions and dominance. That's what I truly believe. Exactly, big homie. A defensive end outside linebacker playing wide receiver. 6'7", 235. They did, but you remember, Jason, they played a lot of juggernauts last year too in their depth. That's one thing that South Carolina had last year, especially in the secondary. South Carolina had, I think they were like three deep at both corner spots, 4 deep on one side. Their nickel corner had 3 guys. They had 3 safeties in that room that literally one of them went to the draft. I think one of their corners hit the portal. Got some linebackers that hit the draft. Defensive front took 1 hit, big hit. I'm just saying. Corey Glover, you tripping. You go watch the games from last year. All you got to do it. So when I go and I talk about returning production, I look at snap counts too from last year. When you have with teams like South Carolina, when 61, when you're close to that 60% of your snap counts returning on roster, right? You're in a good position. Ohio State had that. Michigan had that the previous year. Teams that won the national championship were right up there in amongst the top of returning snap count. Talent on roster was up there. Returning production and snap counts was up there. Portal grades, player evaluation ratings, all of that was a factor. And you look at South Carolina's roster, they're right up there with it. So think what you want, Corey. South Carolina will be tough. Now, on the other end of that, maybe we're humming. Maybe we're humming. Maybe Tennessee doesn't present with Aguilar. They don't present as tough as the test as I say they do. And we win that game, whether it's close or big, and we go to South Carolina, and that's the game where we kind of pick it up because of a tough game against Tennessee. We turn it back on. Execution is there. I still think South Carolina is a tough team. I think it's a close game. If we lose, that was 31-21. We win, it's 31-20. I still think it's that type of game at South Carolina. If we were at home, it's a different story. But we're at South Carolina. They're going to be rocking. With all the momentum we'll be coming into that game with, based off our projections, and the record, we should be undefeated coming in. There'll be the opportunity for them to upset, and y'all know what upset weekends look like. Okay? Now, coming back, you're looking at stats, Corey. You're looking at stats. You're not looking at snaps. Not stats. I didn't say you should look at stats. I said look at snaps. That's the problem with a lot of people that want to do this, man. That want to try to debate stuff with this projection stuff. You're trying to look at stats. You know, there are players that had stats at Washington. Let's use John Mateer. Let's use Mateer over at Washington State last year. Them stats do not, the way he got them stats and gathered those stats will not carry over to the SEC. The style and how he did that. Now his style of play, will it carry over to Oklahoma and the SEC? And we've seen that style have success. But to say those stats are what his projections are going to be, that's crazy. Right? He played in 13 games. So just imagine how many snaps he has. Imagine how much experience he's gained in that offensive system. Imagine how much he's learned in that scheme. Imagine how many offensive linemen that played snaps last year in that system while they were figuring it out that didn't necessarily fill up the stat sheets. Imagine how many wide receivers were out there for snaps and didn't make catches, or running backs were out there, didn't get hands-offs on that roster. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Think about what I'm saying. Stop typing for a second and listen. Because you're making irrelevant points into the fact of what we're trying to state here. Man, I haven't had a good call out. We ain't had a lack of we ain't had no good debate in the chat. That's why I'm jumping on the chat, because he talking, he trying to say something, and I don't want him to be one of those fans that come back and be like, man, we should have beat South Carolina. I told you there was going to be a tough team. Told you there was going to be a tough team. All you gotta do is open up YouTube, look at the games from last year, and you'll see a lot of their production left. And people were saying that about Bama last year, especially on the offensive side. But then you come in and you're the number 3 scoring offense in the SEC, top 10 scoring offense in the country at 31 points a game, 33.1 points a game. Passing numbers is right up there. And you trying to tell me South Carolina can't do the same thing? With more experience in their scheme. They don't have a philosophy change going on over there. They don't have a total overhaul of coaching staff, none of that. They don't have a culture change happening. They are building on something that they've been building on for the past 3 or 4 years. Same thing we saw Coach Saban do. You continue to plug and play. Next man up. When you got guys that's been on the roster for 2 and 3 years, you're expected to have some success. There's some continuity there. There's some cohesiveness there. You got that one extra step over your opponent. You got that one extra leeway over your opponent. Oh man, I don't even care to even try to break down the debate. If you don't understand what we're getting at as far as being able to project the level of experience on the field, go look at the stats. How about this? Since you want to look at stats, look at the stats produced by Lenore Sellers and his receivers last year. Look at their leading receivers. Look at the numbers produced. Look at what they did with their team last year. They had guys on that roster, on that same roster, that were in that same scheme, that are being asked to do the same thing. They're going to have opportunities to do the same thing. To say that they can't is crazy. If they were able to do it with assets last year, they have similar skill sets available this year, replacing them. You're talking about at home. on the road. The defensive tackles, they rotated 6 defensive linemen last year. 7 defensive linemen on that 4-man front. They had one of the deeper defensive line rooms in the SEC. So what are you talking about? It's funny how, and this is what I say when I like to debate with Bama fans or people that say I got Bama goggles, right? It's funny how we can look at our roster and look at the recruiting and all the talent on our roster and say and project what they can do and what we're excited about them, but we can't look at an opponent in the situation, especially like being on the road at South Carolina. It's not foreign to go to South Carolina and struggle. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You have to catch South Carolina in a bad down year. They're not in a down year. This is a team that missed the playoffs by 1 game last year. And for you to say like they lost this, and this, they only lost like 27% of production on the defensive side. So they're returning a lot of their defense. You guys are talking about 3 or 4 guys that went to the draft and hit the portal. They're returning a lot of quality depth that played. They played, I want to say, 47 guys last year on the defensive side. I'm just saying, you laughing, but you the one looking goofy. You're trying to limit it to you're trying to limit it to stats. That's like saying that Ty Simpson or Keelan Russell won't be able to pass for more yards this year because Jalen Murrow only had a certain amount of yards, or because who we lose, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, all them guys, like other guys can't go and get those 12 and 14 receptions that they got last year. So because they're gone, the other guys can't step in those roles and fill those roles and get those stats. Come on now. Don't be a goofy. Don't be the Bama standard. All right? Don't be that. Shout out to Mary J. Shout out to Mary J for the 5 gifted. Appreciate you, Mary J. Don't be don't get me started, Corey, because I be seeing you in them other chats. I'll light you up, boy. You don't want to debate, man. Not football. All right, y'all. Mary J with the 5 gifted memberships. Hey, Mary J, I wish you was here so you could do the banner because I can't even find the co-sponsor banner. Oh, there it is. There go the one I did. Mary J got all this neat stuff back here organized. Why is it that I could see my mess better than my organized stuff? Oh, I'm on the wrong computer, chat. Mary J with the 5 gifted. Here we go. Banner at the bottom. All right. Going back, continuing where we stopped at the bye week. All right. So bye week after a loss, I'm projecting a loss at South Carolina. That's my early projection. I think they're going to bring going to be a tough matchup. They're going to be a great opponent. Shane Beamer is actually becoming a good coach. That's all I'm saying. And then Mike Jones, talk about it. They lose talent and they get talent from where? Mike, I love having chat members in here that are listening to the conversation from a unbiased standpoint, right? I know you want to be a Bama fan and you think that South Carolina is just not. You're branding. That's what it is. You're comparing brands right now. It's the fandom in you that's comparing brands, Corey. You're not looking at football. You're not looking at what's happening. We probably haven't even seen a report from South Carolina, right? You probably haven't even seen a clip from what South Carolina's secondary looks like right now from that spring camp. Same thing you get hype about when you watch Bama stuff. You're not looking at it South Carolina and giving them benefit of the doubt. You're not looking at Ole Miss and give them benefit of the doubt. You're not looking. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at it from a bias standpoint, and I understand. Keep them Bama goggles on. Mary J says she'll be back. And Corey, I think you sound crazy right now. You're talking offensive production isn't there. Based off of what? Returning production? I never said anything about returning production. I said the snaps. The snaps matter. Just like we're confident. Listen, this is what's making your argument irrelevant and void. This is what's making it void. Your point. Irrelevant and void. If we're going to factor that in, let's say we factor in what left from Bama's roster last year. Are you telling me there aren't assets on Alabama's roster that can go and fill all those production voids that have been left from Alabama? You're talking about the quarterback production, right? You're talking about Justice Haynes running back production from last year. You're talking about the backup production from CJ Dupree in the tight end room, who was our primary receiving tight end last year. You're hype about Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard being back, but the guy that threw it to him ain't back. But then the guys that were supporting them and having a few catches, that you got to replace that production. And then let's jump to the defensive side. Your front, you lost some edge guys. You lost linebacker. You lost Malachi. You lost Smitty to the portal. Starters. So you're telling me Alabama, because we lost those starters, we can't replace that production? That's what your argument is. What's up, Carla? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, sister. Good morning, two-time. We just got done talking about how bad Bama gonna whoop up on Georgia this year. Hope you be around to see it. I see LSU and Auburn being the struggle games. Listen, I like LSU coming in and giving us a strong game. But I also like the fact that Kalen DeBoer, staff at home, LSU, by this point, we know their identity. We've got film. Kane Womack I think this is going to be the first game where he's really going to have his hands full. And this one might be the game where it's a shootout, right? I look at when it comes in. This is why I say the game against Georgia is so important, and then the one at home against Tennessee is important. Because if the starter in that game struggles at Tennessee, the QB2 is going on the road as a starter. I truly believe that. I think if the starter loses to Tennessee, let's just say if my prediction is wrong and we lose to Tennessee at home, I think QB2 starts on the road. Win, lose, or draw, they get an open week to evaluate. Because that big game against LSU at home is coming. And that game, quarterback is going, whichever quarterback starts that game is going to be prepared. Kalen DeBoer is going to put the sharpest guy out there. Ryan Grubb is going to have the play calling. LSU is going to have a talented offense this year. I know they lost a few names in the wide receiver room, but they still got guys. Aaron Anderson was one of the guys. I hope y'all remember the name. Used to be at Bama. Beware. He down there. But we know LSU is going to have wide receivers. Running back room, got 2 or 3 guys that they truly believe in. They definitely trust their quarterback. Offensive line, left side of the offensive line got a few questions. That right side is still pretty strong. Replacing the big tight end asset in Taylor, right? But I think Alabama wins this one at home. That defense, I love what they have. LSU has at the linebacker position, but their front, I'm not as confident in their front. Looking at some skill sets there, they might have 2 or 3 that pop, but how many snaps can they pop? And that's been a problem with LSU for the past few years. Their depth, their front line, the first group of guys have been like solid, especially in the front, their front 7. But behind that, you've seen drop-offs. And those guys, you know, hopefully everybody's healthy at this point in the season, because I think this is a big game for the season. Especially when you talk about playoff rankings, strength of schedule. Hopefully both teams come in top 10 ranked. At this point, Alabama would have played 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be at this point it'd be our 4th ranked game. So win, lose, or draw in this game, play a good game, play a tough game at home. You play this game, you know, hoping that both teams be in a position to where they're in the playoff talks. That's a good game for us. Alabama, I think Alabama wins though. LSU beats LSU this year. Being at home, I feel like that's the advantage we have in this one. That's the biggest advantage. And then the second year on the Kane Womack, man, I'm telling you, I think this will be the game where we see him struggle. Or the play calling struggle, but the adjustments being made to where we see the back and forth, not just it feel like their offense is winning. So every play, you see them win one, then we win one. They win one, we win one. Like I feel like it'll be that type of game. and whoever makes the most out of the first mistake or the costly mistakes, plural, that's who's going to win that game. And I think Alabama will be poised to do that. We won't necessarily dominate them on the defense side, but I know this defense. I feel like this defense. I won't say I know. I feel like this year's defense will be able to create a lot more turnovers than they did last year, and they had a lot last year. I want to say 14 interceptions, 17 interceptions last year, 14 or 17. And then you had one side of the ball, Damani Jackson. His target rate was the lowest in the SEC, right? Catch rate was the lowest in the country, second lowest in the country. People just didn't throw to his side, and when they did, it was usually on broken plays. You had drags coming across from opposite scheme, cross scheming. All right, Oklahoma at home against Oklahoma, man. We're gonna have our brother Hall of Fame Jason pulling up, man. That's gonna be a vibe. That's gonna be a vibe. We blowing Oklahoma out. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We blowing Oklahoma out. Mateer, I don't care, but nothing about none of that. I honestly, after going back and looking at the scheme, man, Jason, Mateer may not be. I don't know, man. I can't say. I wish Jason was in here. I look at the skill set. I think it fits, but I think there's so much going on around getting that scheme up and running, like fluidly, right? Now, what is in favor of Oklahoma coming to Bama this late in the season is you got enough games under your belt to where you've established your identity. Does it carry over enough to a humming Bama team? I don't think so. I got Alabama 38, Oklahoma 27. Now, Oklahoma's defense, I believe, will make this a good game. I really do think Oklahoma's defense will make this a good game, being that Brett Venables has a lot more assets available, especially in the secondary on Oklahoma. That secondary has been padded this year. But I think it'll be a balanced enough game to where it feels, the score looks better than what it felt like, right, with Bama. I think it'll be a sizable gap, and they may score late to make it look better than what it was. But I think we got edge over Oklahoma. Then Eastern Illinois, chat. Eastern Illinois. And Oklahoma's homecoming too. Oklahoma's homecoming. This is the last of the Saban era. Their class, right? I think this is the last of his. Yeah, these are the last guys that were recruited by Coach Saban. Wait, no. That'll be Edric Hill and Jordan Renard's class. That'll be the last. But got guys that's there, man. Want to close out their year. Oklahoma, boom. Homecoming, yeah. Should be a good one. What we got? Let me jump in the comments real quick. Let me see. We got homecoming in mid-November. It's so weird, right? Didn't it used to be in October? Could have sworn homecoming was supposed to be in October. What is this? Jason, they've had a good offensive weapons the last 2 years. That defense has been the issue. Also, the wide receiver from Kentucky is a crash out. I'm not sure he clicks with Brian Kelly. LSU got some good offensive weapons from the Porter returning. Let's get up here to these comments. I go. Davin John says, I don't think we struggle with LSU at home. I think it could be a good game between two good teams, only if LSU defense has improved. If not, then another blowout is coming for LSU. My same sentiments. And like I said, I just don't see the secondary being as good as they've been in the past. That's kind of been their saving grace with having so many skilled players in the secondary. Their front interior, they're going to have to find a lot of answers. I don't think we struggle with LSU. Now, Eastern Illinois, y'all know what that entails. At Auburn, man. End of the year, Iron Bowl at Auburn, in Auburn. Y'all know how I feel about Auburn. I will be going there ready for battle. We will be making. I'm thinking about doing a camp out. Thinking about camping out. Doing a whole freaking 24-hour show from midnight till doing a marathon from midnight Saturday, November 29th to 11:59 p.m. Saturday, November 29th. Or just doing content the whole day, right? And by that time, man, we'll have some teams, some assets available, especially being partnered with the Voice of College Football now. a lot more creators to collab with and do those things with. We got Tennessee this year. Auburn got Oklahoma. I think they're going to be bringing the LSU guy on here before the season kicks off. So we're going to have a lot of interactive and cross content that we're going to be able to do. I'm going to start seeing a lot more different fans pop up in here for the conversation. But talking Auburn, chat, talking Auburn. Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about Auburn. Do they have talent on that roster? Yes. Do I believe it's going to be a year where Auburn is a playoff team? No. But I do believe that this is a year for Auburn, and I'm being unbiased. With every bit of Bama in me, I do believe that because of Auburn's schedule and where certain games fall and how they fall, a few home games for them, I think Auburn might end up being a team that's looked at as a contender, and they might be in position to be a contender. Let me see. And so, my fault, y'all. I was trying to figure out if I couldn't see behind the ring light. I thought I seen some. That's my hanger failed or something. But we're going to Auburn, going to Jordan here. I look at it and I say this. This is a team in Auburn. They got, they have Jackson Arnold there. They're hype about Deuce Knight, the future of their offense, all the weapons that they have, some of the recruits that they're getting on campus, and that's trending towards them for their future. Cam Coleman is a guy that you're going to hear when they talk about Auburn's offense. The defense, the secondary is going to struggle, but this is the last game of the season. At this point in the season, and this is why we always get Auburn's best effort. By this time of the season, not only is it the rivalry factor, but we're talking about you kind of know what you're putting on the table, and that's what you're rolling with. My thing is this: at this point in the season, you're just going to roll with what you have, right? Hugh Freeze and the offense is going to they're just going to stick with their guns. Same with Bama. And so at this point in the season, adjustments are going to be important, but literally you just got to have the better guy on the field at certain points of times of the game. And there are some spots on the field, Auburn's offense, I believe, can give our defense problems, right? And we're going to get a good idea of what that looks like. Now, I can tell you how I've evaluated our DBs against our receivers in practice. And I'll say this: Isaiah Horton just about has his way. Him and Jalen Hill, they just about have their way. Especially in the ones. And that's not a bad thing, because those are two upper echelon wide receivers. Does Auburn have those type of skill sets in their wide receiver room? Yes. So that's where scheme comes in. And then you allow scheme and philosophy, game plan. You allow a guy like Devontae Jackson, who may have an issue in one-on-one coverage or man coverage, zero coverage against Cam Coleman or one of their other receivers, right? But if you already schemed up, that based off of what you evaluated in spring and all this, you come in with a full different game plan, you can prepare for that. But outside of those, that one matchup, you got the running game. Hugh Freeze is notorious for scheming up the run game. That's really what his bread and butter is. Getting the extensions of the run game, active, fast-paced, up-tempo. He's going to roll it. Jackson Arnold is a strong runner. We saw him hit us at Oklahoma last year. So I think this game is a lot more tougher than what our fandom will allow us to see at this point. But when we see what Auburn has developed into, and like Jordan said he has Auburn win. You said 8 or 9. I don't have them winning 8 or 9. I think Auburn is right at 7, 8. But I think they will be close in a lot more games than they'll be blown out in. And for a lot of their fans, if you was to ask a lot of their fans, they're still, the fair weather term honestly was developed when I used to watch Auburn fans all the time, on Facebook. Auburn fans were different. But if you look at their schedule, this is it's made for them to win. They should win 8 games. They should win 8 games. You look at them starting off, and this is the ESPN. They're starting off against Baylor, who I think is going to be a good team, but that they don't have a front to really match up with Auburn's talent on their defense, which is their front. That's my personal opinion. Ball State shouldn't be much of an issue handling them at home. South Alabama, just the sheer what's available asset-wise should be the difference maker. But I tell you right now, if South Alabama goes in this game and surprises Auburn, that's because South Alabama is probably going to win the Sun Belt. I think they're in the Sun Belt Conference, right? Or is it the Sun Conference? I can't remember. What's South Alabama's conference, chat? But if South Alabama goes in here and beats Auburn, because they go look at their roster. Go look at South Alabama's roster. They got transfers from some of everywhere. USC, Washington, North Carolina, not North Alabama, but North Dakota State. I think I've seen a couple of those guys. And then they really recruit the state of Alabama very well. Y'all know a lot of dogs come from Lower Alabama, Mobile, North Florida area, Northeast Texas, Louisiana, all them areas. South Alabama, I'm telling y'all, and I know for a fact, they're one of the schools that we built a strong networking relationship with. We send film over there a lot. We send recruits that way a lot. And man, yeah, that roster looks pretty solid. So if South Alabama come in and give Auburn a problem, that's bad news for them. Maybe for like 3 weeks though. At Oklahoma is going to be a tough one for Auburn. Jackson Arnold going in under that pressure. I think that's their first real loss. And it kind of sets them up for the tone. I think it's going to be narrative for them. The big games, they probably won't be able to close them out because of who their quarterback is, but and just the assets on the back end. They're going to have a lot of problems in their secondary. Their secondary got a lot of issues. Oklahoma, I think they lose that one. At A&M, I think they come away with a win with that one. Tough win with that one. That hostile environment, but that offensive scheme is going to outlast that A&M defense that has a lot of questions on that side of the ball. Versus Georgia. Can Auburn upset Georgia this year at home? If it was to happen, it would be this year. You got an experienced guy in Jackson Arnold, right? You got the weapons, you got the coordinator. You're at home, you got the voodoo going for you. Georgia better watch out. Anybody going to Auburn this year better watch out. You're giving Hugh Freeze you're giving him the momentum behind him, the crowd support and everything to, dang, y'all, we've been live for an hour 45. Y'all done let me win way over my time. Again, Auburn. They got Georgia. Then they at home against Missouri. That could be a win for them. So 2 wins there. You're talking at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 6-1 with their loss to Oklahoma at this point. At Arkansas, that should be a 7th win. Versus Kentucky at home, that could be an 8th win. At Vanderbilt, could be their 9th win. Like Auburn could win 9. They could win 9. They could win 9. I'm looking at the schedule now. They got a weak schedule. I think they lose at Oklahoma. I think Arnold, that's too much for him. 12th man might be an issue, so let's give them a P right there. So let's go 3-1, 4-1 right now at A&M. I don't think they lose to A&M. I'm not gonna hate like that. Georgia, toss up in Jordan here. It's not crazy for Georgia to lose in Jordan here in this type of year. But let's just say for keepsakes, let's just say Georgia beats them. That's their second loss. They beat Missouri, beat Arkansas. Auburn could be a 9-3 team. Auburn could be a 9-3 team. That's if they don't go and blow it at Vanderbilt, because we know Vanderbilt played great at home. That's if they don't blow it early against A&M at Oklahoma or Baylor, right? Opening weekend that Friday night. So, just depends. They could win 8 or 9. That's crazy. You think they lose to A&M? I don't know. I think they got the edge over there. All right, y'all. My stomach hurting. I can't do this good talk about these foods no more. Get this crap off the screen. What am I doing? My stomach literally just started hurting. Don't throw up. But yeah. So at Jordan here, am I worried? I'm always nervous going into Jordan here. I don't care what the year looks like. I am always nervous going into Jordan here. But from a philosophical standpoint, from philosophy standpoint and schematical standpoint, I truly think Gus Malzahn, Kane Womack dynamic. We saw what Kane Womack and his defense was able to do in last year's Iron Bowl. Yes, they had Peyton Thorne. Not much of an asset, but he did do a few things in that game that forced us to make adjustments. I feel like at this point in the season, Kane Womack and this staff, this defense is going to be humming. It might start off weird, as any freaking Iron Bowl, right, has been in most recent years. Every 3 or 4 years, we have a blowout. I don't think the blowout is this year, but I do think that it's a game we show that we're the better team, and a 28 or I wouldn't even say 28. I don't think anybody's going to be able to keep us under 30 points this year. So a 37 to 18 win over Auburn, or 34 to 18 win over Auburn probably doesn't look like a dominant win. But when you go and look at the type of play calling I believe we're going to have to utilize in that stadium, in that game, to keep emotions in check, to kind of settle into that game in the first half, and to kind of really want to establish the physicality standpoint, remove the emotion. That's how you remove the emotion from the game and get your players focused, establish physicality. And how do you do that? That's all established by play calling. You put your guys in situations to where they have to be physical. And we're going to have to do that against Auburn this year at home. So 38, I'm going to say final score 38-18 Alabama in the Iron Bowl. And then that's our path, man. You're talking about my projections for Alabama being realistically an 11-1 year. And the big games, the loss or the drop game is going to have to come after a hard-fought game. Now, if we go early in the season and we get through that Tennessee, South Carolina, that run right there, if we're 2-0 in that run, I have no doubt that we can come off of that bye week, that following week, and beat LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn as far as our conference games and run the table. I have no doubt. I'm very confident that we can do that. And we all know that as the season comes along, things change and transpire. Our projections and things will change. But I'm just talking about based off of what we know and what we were able to watch from spring ball. And see, even guys like Corey that was in here earlier talking about South Carolina, I don't think he watched South Carolina's spring coverage, any of their spring coverage, because if you go and look at the speed in the wide receiver room, yeah, they don't have guys that had a lot of catches last year, but they got faster guys in that room. Lenore Sellers has a accurate deep ball, just like Jalen Miro, and more of a decisive runner, and protects the ball better. So, Mike Jones said, it's been 2001 days. Carla said it's been 2001 days. Says Auburn beat Bama, man. Gotta love it, Carla. Gotta love it. Mike Jones says, I think it will be a 2020 blowout at Auburn. It might be, man. It's, to me, for Auburn, it's those early conference games for them, because if they get through that, they're really in the clear until they see us again. Just being honest. If they get through Oklahoma, A&M, and Georgia before, and they get that before the middle of the season, and then that second half of the season, Auburn only has to see us, and they get us at home. So they might be one of those teams that's trending towards the end. So, Corey, ain't no way you watch South Carolina's spring coverage and what they did in their spring viewing practice, whatever. And you're not saying, oh, wow, that wide receiver, I think it was number 12 or whatever, their slot receiver, he's going to be a freaking problem. He's going to be a problem. And then they got 3 running backs that they didn't even get to utilize last year. They got their freshmen that on their roster this year. Like, I don't know. I just know when I talk about football from an unbiased standpoint, and people like to, come at it from you know, from an argumentative standpoint, trying to debate against, they usually end up being in the wrong. That's all I'm saying. Especially in this type of stuff, like last year, people just doubted so badly. They doubted what Missouri, the year before last, what Missouri was going to do. And I remember I kept telling people, man, their offense is going to be fire. Their offense is going to be fire. Don't let them have a slick defense to give them more possession because they're going to be explosive. Luther Burden and the quarterback, they end up being two of the top offensive talking points of this SEC season with some of the plays and things that they did. Told them last year, that ain't going to happen this year because everybody know about them. Man, you crazy. You ain't going to be able to stop them, boy. What Luther Burden did last year. Come on, man. I'm just saying. I've been doing this my whole life, talking this game, watching this game, evaluating this game. I've learned from a lot of people. That's why I have such a passion for it. And that's why I love being here on the Coach Smoot Network, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all turn up for a time, one time. All right, we're going to do this last little infomercial break, and then we're going to close the show out. Thank y'all for being here, man. Stick around, man. If you're not a member of the AAA family, this is how you join, man. Last time. Running back, man.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smoot Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smoot Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmootnetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smoot of the Coach Smoot Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets,
All right, hopefully y'all enjoyed the show, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. I know I enjoyed y'all as always, man. Remember, make sure you have already liked, shared, and subscribed on the channel. Make sure you come in and I really just I want to take a moment to really thank y'all. This week has been a great week of content. We're not done, but as far as the YouTube side, I think we're going to come back tonight and do a random impromptu gathering. Once again, shout out to the Voice of College Football. Shout out to them, man, for the opportunity. I'm so excited. I mean, we literally were texting during the show. Excited about this collaboration and the fact that we're going to help each other's networks grow. Their vision for what they're doing, man, it's bigger than what I've seen from other networks and platforms, and it's something that I'm very excited to be a part of. So you all, it's a reason. I'm not even going to say it's a reason. God put us in position to start changing the face of the Coach Smoot channel, right? Probably like December, right as the snakes and the fakes left, right? As soon as they left, that's when we started reshaping how we did things, and it's paid off already. We haven't even made it halfway through the year, and we've taken advantage. God has given us the opportunity to take advantage of 4 content opportunities, and you guys got to remember, we're still going to have the Bleacher Report. segment in during the season. Like these are relationships that I think people forget that we had, and because of some decisions I made last year, listening to some support, we almost messed up these relationships. So I'm grateful for him protecting the network, and then for this opportunity with the Voice of College Football. Man, these guys are hungry. We're hungry. They're Michigan guys. TJ, that dude, y'all gonna see me and TJ go at it content wise a lot. That dude is so good at this, man. He's so good at this. I put him right there on the level of, as far as being able, somebody that I want to be able to bounce off of and be able to collab with as far as content and just information and delivery. TJ is a guy that I can't wait to collab with. Y'all see the Voice of College Football collaborations on the channel. Make sure y'all go subscribe over there, Voice of College Football, and then find your team. If you're not a Bama fan, find your team. If you're Bama, Voice of College Football, Alabama, go over there, subscribe. Be on the lookout. We'll be doing our first show over there with them Tuesday night. I'll get the time. We'll do promos over here. We'll be helping promote everything we do over there. We'll help promote it over here, and they're going to do the same for us over there. And I'm not going to say over there and over here. We're just going to talk about channels from now on. Voice of College Football family, if you're checking in this morning, I appreciate y'all for checking in. They love the fact that I get up and get to it early, because I'm going to be there early guy, and then the fact that I'm always at it. That's what's I'm really hoping that I can get with the Bama team and share this same fire. And like I said, y'all, we have so much more coming because of this collaboration and this partnership. So I'm excited about it. The things that we've been doing, we're going to be able to do it at a higher rate, times 10, if I would say. Times 10, if I could say, because of the team that we're joining. Shout out to Voice of College Football. I'm grateful. God is so awesome. And Friday, words of encouragement. Y'all know we love to leave with words of encouragement coming up on this last 40 seconds. All I got to say is go out and go get it, man. Go out and go get it. MJ, good to see you. Deborah, good to see y'all. Yeah, y'all tapped in kind of late, but y'all here. That's all that matters. I'm glad to see each and every one of you. But go out and get it, chat. Go out and get your peace. Go out and get your breakthrough. Go out and get. I mean, it's there for the taking now. If you haven't been taking time to prepare yourself to go and get it, then don't expect to get it. You have to prepare yourself. You have to do the small things. You got to discipline yourself. You got to be accountable, right? I've been accountable in a lot of things that I've been doing lately, and one thing that I've been doing is not speaking up, right, for what's right, and not taking up for what I know I should be taking up for. So that's why you see the delivery. That's why you see the protective permits around Coach Smook and the family and the AAA family and the network and what we're doing. All right, no intent to be malicious, but to let you know that if you come this way with that energy, it can be reciprocated. Reciprocity is the word, I think, right? Yeah, give me some big words. But with that being said, remember, merch. Don't forget to go check out your merch. We got the new merch being posted tonight, 6 p.m. I told y'all Friday, 6 p.m. New merch coming out. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. Let me find that banner. Yeah, red and white lineup still out there. New merch being posted tonight, 6 p.m. Make sure you go follow me on all socials at Coach Smook, and then Coach Smook Gaming and Smook Hines on YouTube. Please go subscribe to those channels. If you're watching this post live, make sure you go subscribe to those channels. We're trying to get those channels up to 1K so that we can start getting everything pushed out like we do over here and help those communities grow. So if you're on this Bama football, college football vibe, sports entertainment vibe, and you really just supporting Coach Smook in general, past what we do for Bama, you want to see your brothers succeed and want to help other people succeed, go and subscribe to those other channels, comment on those videos, like those videos, share, help us grow on those sides. Don't forget to like and share this video, like and share this stream, and don't forget to go check out our vibes on this channel. Remember, it's always authenticity above all. You can always go to the Discord, join the Discord. If you're not in Discord, join the Discord and jump in that prayer room. You're going through some things, jump in there. It's been quiet in there, so that means God's really keeping his people, and we ain't got much to be complaining about, and we ain't needing much help, so that's good. That means everybody living a blessed life. And shout out to my team, man, Dooley Gang the Fam, man, for providing all the beats and music that you hear. And shout out to the team, man. Shout out to the team, Mary J, Zach, MJ, Jordan, Megan, Sully, everybody, man. Everybody on the team, Thad, BT, the whole squad, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting and doing what y'all do behind the scenes. And last but not least, shout out to my family. Yesterday, I didn't do it on live because it was a more intimate moment, but my baby boy turned 8 yesterday. And I was trying to wait for him to tune into the live. He said he was going to jump on the live and comment, but he didn't. So I'm going to say it today. Happy birthday again, Amir Deshaun Hines. I love you, man. I love you, my young boy. He just turned 8. The last of the bunch. The last of the bunch, man. The last of the crew. I say 6, but they say I got 7. They say that's what they say. That's what they say. Let me stop, man. That ain't even for the channel, right? Hey, I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Snoop. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed. See y'all on TikTok. We'll be gaming here in about an hour. Y'all be blessed, man. Y'all.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Snoop.
Put me in the game, Coach Snoop. Put me in the game, Coach Snoop.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Snoop. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Snoop.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach. Smooth through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok. Subscribe. You do roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Snoop. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok, roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Snoop. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. Twitter X, roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Snoop. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. Instagram, roll with the tide. Move back, take your face off that banner, man. I can't hear your keys to take the lead from Piano Man. He's black, not red like tomato juice. I heard you bounce around like a clown. I call him kangaroo. So I hope you get that hint. I just speak intelligent. You speak your segment from the fence. True. That's in my own word. Position make you switch. In my own word. Authenticity above all is something they can never be. Just my humble opinion. They fair weather jealousy.